What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest on with me this morning. She has been a television reporter and in the industry in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts. She also has her own communications company that she runs now, Alison May PR, or Alison Maloni, I should say, PR. She is somebody that's been a keynote speaker. She's also trains people for the media as well. Without any further ado, I introduce you to Alison Maloni, and we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into the media space, but also ask her some get to know you questions. So, Alison, welcome to the
Thanks
podcast.
so much for having me.
Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me. Like I said, it was a no-brainer, and I will also say again, you look absolutely lovely today. You are glowing today. There's no question about that. You are very welcome. My first question to you is the same as it always is with everybody that hops on the podcast, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations growing up in the Massachusetts area? But ultimately, what is your why of getting into journalism and
To
media?
tell stories. When I was 9 years old, it's when I wanted to be a broadcast journalist, and I actually met my mentor, who I still talk to now, who's now a professor at a college, and I'm going to be speaking in her class, which is crazy.
Mm,
And she
mm,
was a local TV reporter and took me under her wing. I was able to go to the local TV station and sit in the studio, watch how everything is done. She sent me home with scripts, and I would go home after school, pull my local newspaper, and start writing out stories,
okay,
and then put on a pretend TV show in my bedroom. And my stuffed animals would be
mm,
my audience, my live audience who would be watching. And I just was so fascinated in people's stories. I always was asking questions and wanting to know more. And obviously, that was such a great fit for me. And 20 plus years later, I'm still able to do that and not only, meet different people every day when I'm doing certain things at Newsmax or just talking to clients, but everybody has a story. And it's
mm,
the little person, right? It's not the politicians I interview. It's the mom who lost her son to fentanyl poisoning, or the dad who's struggling because, something happened to their family. Those are the stories that are important. And without media and, now social media, which is great because people can share their stories on their own. Without those
sure.
stories, people would never know.
Absolutely. I love that why. It's one of the main reasons why I got into journalism and sports is to story tell, to meet different people. You never know what the day will bring. This type of gig and this type of occupation, you wake up saying you never know what you're going to get yourself into, whether it's news, sports, whatever genre it is. But that's also the exciting part about what we do, right? Is that we go and we tell these stories of these people that we're going to meet and talk to, that's complete strangers, that ultimately can become people that are sources, friends, maybe people that keep in touch with down the line, right? And that's why I love storytelling. That's why I love doing it, because you get to tell different stories and do different things every single day. It's not sitting at a desk 9 to 5 doing the same thing all the time. I think I would go damn crazy. I don't know about you, Allison, but I would go really crazy if I had to
Absolutely.
do
And
that.
that's why when I had gotten out of local news, after, gosh, it was a while ago, I got out just because I thought I wanted a normal life. In news, you're working nights, weekends, holidays. If there's breaking news, even in
Hmm.
sports, you just never know what's going to happen. And
Right.
when I got out, I said, what do I do now? Because I cannot do a 9 to 5 job. And that's when I got into marketing and PR, because similar situation, it was different every day. You're dealing with different clients. You are dealing still with the news. But yeah, I couldn't sit at a
Hmm.
desk 9 to 5. I'd be so bored.
I would. Truthfully, Boyd, I totally agree with you on that. Now, you went to the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Obviously, that's close to home. I would love to know, were there any other universities that you were considering going to, or was you dead set on going to that particular one?
No, so I went to the University of New Hampshire my first semester and then ended up transferring
Mhm.
to UMass. A couple of us from our high school had gone and we just didn't love it. So I wanted to be
Sure.
closer to home, but still be able to live on campus. So I had the best of both worlds. I'm an only child, so and actually very introverted. So for me, even though I do TV news, going and meeting people. I'm that person that goes to the crowded room and I kind of like stand by myself. So for me to go away to school, it was a challenge. So staying close to home, but then finding friends and maybe coming home every other weekend or on Sundays for dinner and doing laundry and raiding my parents' cabinets and bringing food back to the dorm was always beneficial.
That's awesome. I love that. Now, see, that threw me for a shocker right there. You saying that you're introverted because listen, the camera obviously loves you. You do such a great job in front of it. I mean, talking and just being the reporter that you've been, right? I've seen many YouTube videos, and not only that, but just when you keynote speak, when you speak to different classes and stuff like that. So you saying that you introvert, I'm like, man, that's a little bit of a shocker right there. But then again, some of the best journalists that I've had on this platform have said the same thing you have. Personally, they are introverted, kind of keep to themselves, don't really be as sociable. I'm a very sociable guy, so I feel like Allison, I probably will walk up to you and just start a conversation out of nowhere because I feel like we definitely have at least one or two things in common, and we can kind of bounce off of
Yeah.
that and see if we have other things. Because I feel like everybody has something in common with somebody, but it's just a matter of who's going to be the
Yeah.
initiator, right, of the
You're the
conversation.
person I need in that room full of strangers because you're going to be the one to come up to me and start talking. And then I'll be like, oh, I have friends now. And I'll feel more comfortable. But I'm certainly not going to be that person. I'll be the one standing there.
And that's true, and that's awesome. We need both. We need both of that, and that's for sure. I love that though. I want to ask you some favorite questions. So you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, so here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Favorite meal I like to cook. Ooh, I make a really good dumpling soup in the winter. It's chicken
Oh,
and vegetables and just
mm,
everything that's so good. My kids actually like it, and to get all three of my kids to eat the same thing that we like is impossible. So dumpling soup, and I like a good pizza. I'm just like a basic girl,
mm.
but a good thin crust pizza. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now I'm with you on the pizza. Now, as far as the crust goes, we might differentiate a little bit. My mother loves that thin crust stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Give me the stuffed crust. Give me the cheese inside of it. I'm with that. I'm totally with that. But the dumpling
Yeah.
soup, man, that sounds delicious. There's no question about that. I might have to pull up and see you, Allison, when I come to Massachusetts if I ever visit. That's for sure.
Anytime.
No, no question. That's awesome. I'm a huge taco person. Love tacos. It's quick. Mainly, I love that. So it's very quick to make and very good. Either chicken, steak, or beef. Doesn't matter which one it is. I love that. That's for sure. Okay. Next favorite question is favorite concert you've ever attended.
Mm. Okay, let me think. Okay, can I give you two?
Yes, you
I'm
can. Go ahead.
I'm
Rock
going to
with me.
date myself. My first concert, because I feel like everybody's first concert should be their favorite. I was not 10
Hmm.
years old, maybe I was 10, and I went to go see
Okay.
Tiffany. So if you, I'm older than you, but remember Tiffany and Debbie Gibson? So Milli Vanilli opened for Tiffany, and I think
Hmm.
that's actually the
Hmm.
concert when they got caught lip syncing. But I love Tiffany. I wanted
Yep.
to be her. I knew all the songs. That was my favorite concert. And then I took my daughter to go see Morgan Wallen a couple of years ago, and that was a pretty good concert.
Absolutely. Morgan Wallen's definitely, I'm not a huge country person, but if you say Morgan Wallen, you say Florida Georgia Line, you say Luke Combs, yeah, those are some of my favorites. No question about that. I definitely know about Milli Vanilli, no question. I was a youngster, no question when they came out, but I do know about them for sure. One of my favorite concerts that I went to though, I would say is Boys to Men.
Ah,
Uh, Yeah, I'm a huge Boys to Men person. No question about that. Love Boys to Men, love New Edition. I just love that '90s kind of R&B feel. 'Cause that's the era that I kind of grew up in, '90s and 2000s. And I just love that. So I'm huge into that. Although I do like some of the newer stuff, but some of the newer rap music, yeah, I can't really get down to it on that too much. Not really my scene too much, but I'm a huge R&B person. So yeah, The Weeknd, stuff like that. I love that. So yeah, that's great concerts, by the way.
okay.
Um, Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Ooh, favorite place I've ever traveled to. I have to
Hmm.
say St. Lucia. I went there on my honeymoon a couple of years ago, and it was on my bucket list. And it's beautiful because it's not far. I think it's maybe a 3, 4 hour flight from New York, and they have these beautiful mountains. So you look and you think you're in Hawaii, but you're not. And the food was amazing. We went to this restaurant that everything was made in chocolate, so it's like chocolate and um, coffee, and it was amazing. So yeah, I would say St. Lucia.
Okay, I like that. I'm a huge traveler. I love to travel, so I've been to a lot of different places in the United States. I just got my passport last year for the first time. I would say my favorite place, I'm actually wearing the shirt, is
Ah,
Jamaica.
yes.
So yes, Jamaica was a place that I went to. Was absolutely beautiful. The beaches, the scenery, the people, the food was really good. No question. Went there on a cruise. I plan on doing a couple of cruises in 26. So I'm hoping to go to some different places and experience some things for sure.
Nice. That's right. I forgot. I actually went to Jamaica. We did a cruise too, and the beaches were beautiful. I didn't want to leave. Like the
Mhm.
water,
I
like
know that.
85 degrees and
Mm.
blue and amazing.
Yes, I totally second that, Allison. No question about that. I'm a sports person, so I gotta ask you this sports question. It's a two-parter, okay? So, favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to attend in person.
Okay.
They could be the same sport.
Okay. So I am not a sports person, even though
Hmm.
my all my kids play sports. So I go to all their games, obviously, but gymnastics is my favorite. I did gymnastics in high school, and my daughter Addison takes part in gymnastics. So that's my favorite to watch, and that was also my favorite sport to play. Another one is I like to play tennis, but I don't really like to watch it. It's kind of boring. Tennis is
Hmm.
fun to play. And then my husband just got into pickleball. I don't love pickleball, and my daughter tried it too, and we're kind of like, we'd rather do tennis.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm not a huge pickleball person either. I'd rather just hit the tennis ball if I had to choose that sport. I'm kind of the obviously a huge sports person. This is what I do for a profession. So basketball, football, baseball, the Americanized sports for sure. Soccer is another sport that I love. Cricket is the only sport that I can't really get down on. I don't know a doggone thing about cricket. I tried. I tried even looking at it on TV, and I just turned the television off. So because I just got frustrated, I was like, "What is going on here?" So those are my main sports that I love. But I love the fact you said gymnastics. I'm a huge Simone Biles
Yes.
fan. There's no question about that. Before her, Sean Johnson East I was a fan of hers for sure. So yeah, definitely a fan of gymnastics, especially
Yeah.
collegiate gymnastics too. Definitely. So I love that. Last of the favorites. As I told you, I've never been to Massachusetts. So eventually I will definitely have to come there. I want to know in the vicinity of where you are, what is a restaurant that you like to go out and eat at?
Ooh. So there's a really good restaurant. It's an Italian. I like Italian. I love Italian food. I'm Irish and Italian. I come from a big Italian family. My dad has 10 brothers and sisters. So pasta, lots of food, lots of wine. That's just what I grew up
Mm-hmm.
with. So there's a place called
Hmm.
Napoli, and they make that thin crust pizza that I was talking about, but make a
Hmm.
really good, pasta dish, some good appetizers, and we just go
Okay.
and sit at the bar, and it's amazing.
Now, that sounds like a dream come true to me because I'm a huge wine person. I love my Cabernet. And I'm not sure if you're white. I'm not sure if you're white wine or red wine, but I'm a huge red wine person, so I love that. I also like Moscato too. Moscato's pretty good as well. But I love Italian food. That's probably my number one favorite food. I was gonna ask you, with a last name like Maloney, is that like your maiden name, or is that a
So
married name?
it's my maiden name. So my dad's all Italian, my mom's all Irish. So we like to eat and drink. It's a great
Mhm.
combination.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's the kind of people I like to be around. Like I said, when I pull up to Massachusetts, I'm gonna have to say hello to you, and we definitely gonna have to do that Napoli restaurant. I would love that. That would be
Yes,
amazing
I'll have some
for sure.
Cabernet for you. It's my favorite as well.
Please do, please do. Let's talk about your day to day. Now I imagine that it's much different than what it was. Obviously, as a reporter, as a journalist, I kind of know what the day to day is. You just get up, try to look for stories, try to pitch ideas, and just it's depending on the time frame of when you get up, because it's all different kinds of times where you could work, whether it's morning side, night side. Sports typically is night side or afternoon to late into the night. But now that you're running your own communications company as in PR as well, what is your day-to-day operations? How long do you normally work a day? Are you in a business mode type of time slot where it's 9 to 5, or do you still work those long hours like most journalists does?
I try not to work the long hours that journalists do. And so because I go to Newsmax, so I go to the New York studio usually once or twice a week. That is a
Okay.
1 a.m. wake up. I wake up at 1 a.m., drive in. There's
Ooh,
not a train early enough. So I get there for around 4 in the morning. And depending if, like yesterday, I filled in, I was anchoring yesterday, but other days I'll just go on set and do a couple of segments. So I'll get there at 4, prep and see what's going on, and then be on set until 9. Sometimes I'll do another show, sometimes I'll come back and do another show. So that's a really long day, and then after I do the shows, I'm doing my regular job, my PR company. So I used to do that 3 or 4 days a week, and I've cut that back significantly, to 1 day a week. Or
okay.
this morning I was home and I was able to do a remote hit, right, with this background. I just looked a little different, but which is great. With the one thing about COVID, I think that it taught people and news outlets that you can have remote guests. They don't always need to be in studio, and half the time, the people watching don't know. So that's one part. But
Right.
then my other normal job, I do still wake up early because I like to get my routine done. I wake up, I
Mhm.
write my gratitude journal. I write 10 things I'm thankful for that day, and kind of try and do that meditation and try and just get my head on straight and put myself.
Right,
I try
right.
and do that. And then it's kind of the same thing as when you're in news. You're scrolling through because I'm trying to find stories for my clients that I can pitch them on. So, for example, I have a client. He's in the accounting world. So anytime there's something with taxes or new laws, so I'm constantly looking through, X and different media outlets to see, okay, where can I pitch my clients? So that's kind of the start of the day. And then sometimes client calls, sometimes, pitching different clients, organizing, reminding them, prepping them for interviews. So it's different every day, which is great. I try and put content out for my own brand and for my own, agency, which is again, like, when you're doing stuff for yourself, it's always the last thing that gets done. So I've tried to carve
Right.
out a few hours on Friday to focus on the business and building that. But ideally, I like to be done by 3 o'clock in a perfect world, because then the kids come home from school and I try and be mom or Uber, or, bringing them back and forth, or the chef or whatever. So
Right.
I try and do that. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'll have a call and the kids are used to it. But I'm not, I used to, when I started my business, I used to do work all the time, right? I'd be working at 5 a.m., I'd be working at 8 p.m., and I've just kind of cut that back
Sure.
now because, I realize what's important, and being there for the kids is the priority.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, I'm in my 30s. There's no question that my mindset is much different now than it was when I was in my 20s. In my 20s, I was in go, 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 go mode, and I was still kind of trying to figure it out, Allison. This thing we call life, because there is no book, there's no manual, there's no nothing that we can read step by step to figure this out. But as you get older, in my opinion, life starts to slow down. You start making some very decisive decisions. You start making some very calculated decisions, and you start making some decisions that's just a lot smarter. Because as more life you live, the smarter you get. So I totally understand where you're coming from, but it leads into a great question, which is work-life balance and mental health. And the reason why I want to ask you this question is because um, a lot of reporters, and not just people in reporting, but just media people in general, battle mental health. And they step away from the industry because they battle it. And work-life balance can never find that perfect work-life balance, which I don't think there's a such thing as perfect work-life balance at all. It's in any occupation, but especially this one that I've been into it for so many years. Um, I want to ask you, how do you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that work-life balance? You're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a mom, you're a chef, you're a driver, you drive your kids around, you have your own business, you wear many hats, but you also need some Allison time too, to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you balance all of that, but also keep your mental health strong?
Oh boy. I don't know if I balance it as I should, but I will say when you mentioned a lot of, journalists have, they get out of the business or they struggle with mental health. That's one of the reasons I got out. I mean, I got out at the early age of maybe 28 years old. And it's what I wanted to be
Okay.
my entire life, but I was burnt out. I mean, I was literally working
Mhm.
12, 13-hour days. I was the morning show live reporter, but I'd go in at midnight. So I'd work midnight to, well, my schedule was midnight to 8, but you know how that goes. There's breaking news, or you're covering something.
Mhm.
I'm driving home, eyes
Right.
are burning because of the sun, because I had been up, and I was missing out on life. My friends had normal jobs. I was depressed. I wasn't eating. I was constantly criticizing myself, how I looked on TV. Did I, not thinking I looked perfect. So I got out for
Right.
multiple reasons. But yeah, I was like, if I stay in this and keep this pace up, I'm not going to be, around much longer. I'm not going to be healthy. So that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I got out. And I know a lot of people in the business that struggle with similar situations, especially when they get
Yep.
married or they have kids. And one of my friends, same thing. She was the evening anchor, and it was great when her kids were younger because she'd be home during the day. But then once they started playing sports, she was missing every baseball game. She couldn't put them to bed. She couldn't,
Yeah.
have dinner with them. So that's when you just realizing, what's important in your life. And so me getting out of the business, but now that I'm back in, but it's on my terms. So I'm just a contractor. I can say yes or no, I'll take that, or I can't do that.
Right.
Kids have back to school night. I can't be in New York. So I've been able to kind of shift things in that perspective. But I'm a huge advocate of seeing therapists. I'm a huge advocate in
Okay.
reading and, in praying and mindset and listening to podcasts. I, try and listen to, Gabby Bernstein talking about manifesting. I listen to Mel Robbins. The older I get, the more I'm like, okay, I'm keeping my circle small and I'm saying yes to things
Mhm.
that make sense for me. I'm not saying yes to everything that I did 10 years ago.
Right.
And I say no to things. And
Absolutely.
if it doesn't serve me or make sense, then I say no. And I think that's the number one lesson people, hopefully take away from this is it's okay to say no. If it doesn't serve you and you don't want to do it and you're not into it,
Mhm.
say no.
I love that you said that. I really do. That's a terrific answer, Allison. A lot of young people, especially college graduates, I substitute teach as well. I speak to a lot of high schoolers that soon to be in college, and they ask me about journalism all the time. And I tell them, guys, I'm not some like a wizard in journalism, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you what I found out or what I know. And the one thing I always tell them is try everything. You never know what you're gonna like unless you try it. There's so many different roles in this media space. You don't have to be on camera to be in a role. You don't have to, be off camera. You could be on or off, and you can work with firms, companies, publications, networks. You can do so many different things. So that's first thing. But the second thing of what you just said, it is okay to say no. A lot of times when people start out, in my opinion, they are people that want to say yes all the time because they just want to do everything and be reliable, but also learn a lot. And you should want to say yes to a lot of different things. But as you get older, your why changes, your life changes, it evolves, and you do have different kind of interests in your life that you want to go about and that you want to include in your life. Eventually, I would like to not be a bachelor. That'd be great. That would be that would be awesome for sure. But at the same time, it's one of those things where kids just don't know, right? Because all they see is Alison Maloni in front of the camera, She's giving great news. She's being a pillar in our community. She's anchoring the news or she's reporting. She's looked stunning on camera, but they don't know these thoughts that are going on in your mind. They don't know the burnout. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They don't know that you are also a wife, a mom, a driver, and you probably got your own issues as everybody does in their own house, right? They don't know that unless they talk to Allison. And that's sometimes people get a misconception of what this journalism life is. It's beautiful, but you got to embrace everything.
Absolutely. And social media, I love it, but it also can, can hurt you, especially if you're younger and
Yeah.
you're looking at somebody's life and you think they're perfect and they have all these things and nobody knows what's
Hmm.
happening behind closed doors. And everybody has their own struggle. And I think that's
Hmm.
why it's important, to really say yes to things that make sense, but then saying no because you don't get a do-over. And I had this conversation with my friends a couple of months ago about, just me kind of, cutting back on going to New York as much as I love it. Like I love it. I absolutely, if I could do this for the rest of my life, I would do it, but I can't because I live 3 hours away and I have three kids and my oldest is already in college.
Right.
And I said, I don't get a do over as a parent. This is this one chance, and I need to be there. And so sometimes you have to
Hmm.
make sacrifices and say, okay, career, maybe you're going to change or we'll switch things up because the kids are a priority. And there's so many options out there too for like as you mentioned in journalism. I mean, social media, like publications. There's so many options for people, getting out of college and even high school that it's great. There's just so many
Yeah.
opportunities.
Absolutely. And I appreciate the transparency is opening up about therapy. A lot of people don't talk about therapy, especially back in the day. They didn't talk about it as much. I think it's talked about more now, which is great. I think you need to go to somebody that's a professional in that field because sometimes going to loved ones, they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to
Mhm.
hear. And again, in my opinion, but yeah, I do appreciate that transparency. Again, a great segue to this next question, which is advice. What is some advice that you would give someone that wants to be in this media space, and not just as a journalist, but also somebody that kind of wants to start their own business because that's what you did, and it's hard to do, and the hardest part, in my opinion, is starting it. What kind of advice would you give those kind of individuals?
That you're going to make mistakes every day and it's not the end of the world. I still make mistakes, and I've had this business for over 10 years. I still make mistakes on
Hmm.
TV. I still make mistakes in emails, and that it's okay. And we're not perfect. And as long as you learn from your mistakes, I think that's key. But, and if you're starting a business, just do it. You don't have to have the perfect website. You don't have to have a million followers in social media. You don't need to have all of this money. You can work from home. You don't need an office. You need a computer, you need a phone and internet. And after that, like you can build. Don't think about building a team. Everybody who works with me, they're all contractors. I have the best publicists that I've met on LinkedIn that have their own business, and I just pay them on projects. Same thing with video crews. You don't need
Hmm.
to have this massive brick and mortar store or everything can be done online. So I think when you think about starting a business, you think I need this loan, I need to do this. No, just keep it simple and just know that you're going to make mistakes and learn from them.
Absolutely. This bonus question came up in my mind while you was talking, and I want to know because you did start your business. What was the origin of that? What was the origin of you wanting to start your own communication type of PR type business? 'Cause I know you wanted to step away, as you mentioned before, about the burnout from stepping away from the news, which is totally understandable because words that are synonymous with this industry is burnout, overworked, and underpaid. I mean, you hear those three words all the time, all the time. But tell me, where was the origins of the idea of you starting your own company?
I wish I had this great story to tell you, but it's literally I woke up one day. I just had my third baby, and when I got out of
Mhm.
the business, I went into marketing. So I worked for the Marriott and did their sales and marketing, and then worked for a marketing agency because that's usually what people in TV do. And I do remember
Okay.
when it was my first day, and my boss said, "Okay, do you want to go grab lunch?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" Because in TV, there's no lunch, there's no dinner. Lunch is on the mode,
Right.
it's grab a coffee, it's
Right.
eating at your desk as you're
Mm-hmm.
editing, it's you don't eat until you make
Mm-hmm.
that deadline. And I was like, we have an hour? What do you mean? We're gonna sit here for an hour and have lunch and get paid?
Right.
It was so
Right.
eye-opening because I had not ever worked for a corporation before. And so, long story short, I got out of the business and was working part time. And I just woke up and I said, I'm going to start a PR company. And I never had a lemonade stand. I never had written a business plan. I didn't go to school for business. So I had no idea what I was doing. But I thought, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can help people. I know both sides now. I've been the reporter getting the press release and the pitch, and then I've been the person sending the press release and pitch, so I can help people. And I had a friend help me build a very simple website and a logo, and I started with one small client and built from there.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Never had a lemonade stand. That's classic. I love that, by the way. I love that. Tell me how many clients do you have now?
So I have a very small group of clients, which I'm so thankful. I've had them for a long time. So I have 5 clients right now.
Mm.
Just signed on another,
Awesome.
yeah, just signed on another one. It's more of a project base, and then have somebody else signing on in October. They're launching a new book. I like to keep it
Mhm.
small, just because it's me and a couple other publicists, and I'm trying to do more media training, more camera training, not even media training, but just training for people who want to do videos for their own brands, who don't know what to do. They're scared. They
Mm.
look like a deer in headlights. So doing more of confidence training, that for me is like a huge passion, is helping people. So I'm trying to branch out and do more of that in consulting. So it's constantly evolving, and I think I'm in my 40s, and I at the end of the day still don't really know what I want to do when I grow up. I know it's storytelling. I know it's helping people. So I get to do it, but who knows, the next 10 years what I'll do, which is great
Right.
because you're never stuck in one role or position. You can always evolve and take what you've learned and then bring that to another space.
Wow. Two things right off the bat. One, I may have to talk to you offline and see about that because I'm definitely looking to do some on-camera work. There's no question about that. And then number two, you certainly don't look like you was in your 40s. That's another shocker. So introverted and in your 40s. Wow, look at you. Okay. That's amazing though. It's whatever you're doing, Allison, keep it up. That's all I'm saying. So
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. That's all. I want to get to your book because speaking of books, you just recently wrote a book called Rising Above, if I'm not mistaken. Um, tell me the origins about writing that book. Where did the idea come about? When the title come about? How long did it take for you to write a book? Because typically, I've spoken to many authors before, and it typically takes them about a year, on minimum, to write a book. But tell me about the process of writing your book.
Sure. It took me longer than a year. It should have taken me less than a year, but it's one of those things that you start and then you stop. Life gets in the way. So it took me
Sure.
really, from when I started writing it to the end, was about 2 years. But that's okay. I knew it
Okay.
would. I gave myself deadlines. I didn't make them. It was okay. The idea
Sure.
came from, I had interviewed a woman on Newsmax, and I had mentioned her in the beginning, but she had lost 2 sons to fentanyl poisoning. And her story struck me. And I started thinking, wow, there's so many people out there who have these really amazing stories. But not only did she, obviously lose both her sons, but she's been working to make a difference. So she's been working with local police departments about, the fentanyl awareness and trying to educate parents about what to look for. Her son started with vaping and it kind of escalated to that. She testified before Congress. So I just started thinking of women I've, been around, that I've interviewed, who I've been on speaking circuits with, and reached out to them. And I just did what a journalist did. I interviewed them. I did a Zoom call and I interviewed them, and I put together 10
Hmm.
stories. My story included, but it's nothing compared to the 9 other women. Everything from abusive relationships to, obviously, a school shooting. One of the women lost her son in a school shooting, and he actually saved some first graders. And she created the Choose Love movement. So all of these women have been through absolute hell, but instead of staying down there, they got up and they're making a difference. So I wanted to share their
Sure.
stories.
Wow. I'm definitely gonna have to cop that. I'm definitely gonna have to cop that book for sure because I love reading new books. I love reading biographies, but also love reading like very impactful stories. Not just writing them, but I love reading them too. Where can people get this book at? And obviously, I'm sure you probably have copies yourself. I'm definitely gonna have to get me one for sure.
You can get Amazon. You can go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble online, and then if you want, I have a promo on my website, Alison May Communications, where you can get a signed copy. So I'll write a note, sign it, and then I put it in the mail. So you can do either one. Um,
Okay. All right. No doubt. I definitely will look into that for sure. We'll talk more offline on that for sure. We have ran into the portion of my podcast now that we're going to play my interactive game, which is called This or That.
okay.
It's a game I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. And it's very simple, Allison. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, are you
Okay.
ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather eat at? Would you rather eat at Burger King or Wendy's?
Oh, Wendy's.
All right, we starting off on a good foot because I would have chose Wendy's too. Here we go. All right, another food question. When it comes to chicken wings, which of these two flavors would you rather put on the wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Ooh. Barbecue. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Dry.
Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Boneless.
Oh, so you're a dipper. You dip it into the
And blue
sauce?
cheese. Yeah, blue cheese is my dip. Yeah.
Wow. So fun fact here, never had ranch and I never had blue cheese before.
Oh boy. You have
Yes. I've never tried
to
it.
try it. Change your
I promise you, you'll be the first call. You'll be the first call I make when I do
Yeah.
try it. I promise you on that. No question. Okay, okay, that's what's up. I love that. My next five questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. Okay, so here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Prince or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
That was quick. I like
That was
that.
actually
Okay,
my
I like
first
that.
album. I got the Thriller album and I was so excited. That was my first record. We got records back 'cause I'm
Mm,
old, but that was my first
okay.
one, yeah.
For sure, no question. I love it. Okay, which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Janet Jackson or Whitney Houston?
Ooh. Oh, I like them both. Whitney Houston. Whitney
hmm
Houston.
I got you. I got you on that. Okay, they're only gonna get a little tougher. So here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Rihanna or Beyonce?
Beyonce.
Oh, okay. So you part of the Beehive. You like the Beehive. Okay, I'm with you on that. I would have chose Beyonce
Yeah.
too. All right. Here's the next one. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather see Taylor Swift or Rihanna?
Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie. I really am.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
you,
my daughters
Allison.
are
Wow.
too. They're like all obsessed. Yeah. Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I'm a Swiftie. However, her 1989 album is probably one of my favorites of
Yeah.
hers.
It's a good one.
Um, and that's the one with the Wildest Dreams and the Bad Blood with Kendrick Lamar, plus the Fortnite song with her and Post Malone. Very good
That's a good one.
song. I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that you're probably going to cop the new album that's coming out in about a
Yeah, I think
month.
October
Uh,
13th or October 3rd. I forget. My daughters know. But yeah, when she got engaged, actually it was funny. I was on a call with one of the promotions folks at Newsmax. We're having this like serious call about promotions and he's like, "I'm sorry, there's breaking news. Taylor Swift just got engaged." I'm like, "What?" I hope we're breaking in with it. And he's like, "No, we're not." But I go, "We should." So it was hilarious. It was
that,
uh
that, that, That's so
Yeah.
funny. That's funny. Oh my goodness. But listen, she's a big time star, and congratulations to her and Travis Kelsey. Big time engagement on their part, and obviously her Eras tour. Did you get a chance to take your daughter to
We
that?
did. We went to the one in Florida. My parents live in Florida, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. I mean, I'm sorry. Anybody who can perform for over 3 hours with no break, the only break she
Mhm.
had was to change her costumes. I mean, the endurance, I know people are like, oh, we like Taylor Swift, but her marketing, her business mindset, just she's brilliant. She really is. So yeah, I could do a whole podcast on Taylor Swift. So don't get me
Okay.
started.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I actually the weekend that I went to the cruise that I was flying to, I actually flew to Miami. That same weekend, Taylor Swift had three
Ooh.
shows, weekend shows in Miami, Florida. And I sat next to two people who paid $1,700 each for tickets and VIP experiences, and the whole flight, everyone on the flight, was singing Taylor Swift songs. It was crazy. So it was a good time. It was different, but I was like 1,700. Y'all done lost it. Y'all done lost it. I'm not doing that.
No, no, no.
Mm-mm.
We had no
That's for
seats,
sure.
and I think I paid like 100 and something. I was like, listen, we're there. I don't care if we're in the parking lot. We're there.
Did you go to the Miami show?
No, Tampa.
Tampa. Okay, got you. All right. Last of the music. Here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Carrie Underwood.
Okay. I'm with you on that. You were very decisive on that music. I didn't think you would be as decisive, but I like that, Allison. I love that in a person. Here we go. Back to the
Oh,
sports. We got two.
okay.
Which sport would you rather watch on TV if you had to? Basketball or football?
Uh, oh boy. I like basketball because I feel that it's more active. Not that football isn't, but I feel like football like starts and stops and starts and stops. My husband is a huge football fan. He played football in high school. His sons played in college, but I think basketball is just more entertaining. It's just there's more action going on.
Girl, you get no disagreement from me. That's for sure. No question. I'm a huge basketball person. Basketball is my number one love. Football is a close second, but basketball is my number one love for sure. Okay. Now, next sport one. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton. Yeah.
You know what? Something tells me, Allison, and I may be wrong, because you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but something tells me that you're extremely
A
competitive.
little.
Am I?
I'm not an
Okay.
athlete, and
Okay.
I'm like I'm not. I don't want to say I'm horrible, but I'm definitely not athletic. But I try. Yeah.
Okay. I got you. Because listen, most angelic baby faces, like the ones that you have, are like cutthroat at board games and like Uno and like Monopoly. Like they're just cutthroat when it comes to like family night and like doing that. Because my mother has the same angelic face. She's a sweet woman. I love
Yeah.
it. But when it comes to Monopoly, she talks all kinds of trash every time we play.
Yeah, I'm kind of
For sure.
similar. Yeah, Uno, watch out. That's yeah. Uno's a good game.
Okay. I figured that looking at you, Allison. There's no question. Okay. Do you like desserts?
I do. Yeah, I'm more of a chips and dip girl, but I mean chocolate. I mean you can't. I mean I do like desserts. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the chips is going to be the next one and also the final one for our this or that. But desserts here, I'm going to ask you four different categories, or I'm going to say four different categories to you. You're going to have to choose a category of these four that you would never eat again. So you're going to have to eliminate
Oh.
one. So here we
Okay.
go. The first category is cookies. The second category is candy.
Yeah.
The third category is ice cream. The last category is grouped together. So it's pies/cakes. Which one are you getting rid of?
Pies. Not. I don't like pies.
Okay. Now let me ask you, what is your favorite ice cream?
Peppermint stick.
Say what?
Peppermint stick. Nobody gets it. Nobody likes peppermint stick but me. Have you ever had it? It's like only out during the
Mm-mm.
holidays. It's so weird. Peppermint stick with chocolate sprinkles. I know. So weird.
Okay. Um. Okay. Well. listen, now I'm damn sure gonna try me some peppermint stick. I'm definitely gonna try some peppermint stick, and I will let you
Yeah.
know how that is. I'm a cookies and cream guy though, so cookies and cream is my
Yeah,
favorite
that's
for sure.
yeah.
Okay. Now, as I told you, last one, the chips. I'm gonna name four brands of chips. Okay, you have to choose one of these brands to eliminate. So same format. So here we go.
Okay.
First brand is going to be Ruffles. The next brand is going to be Pringles.
Hmm.
The third brand is going to be Doritos. The last brand is going to be Lay's. Which one are you getting rid of?
Probably Lay's. I do. Yeah, I like.
I would definitely say, Allison, you on point like a period. That's what I would say. Question. There's no question. Now, you don't have to name the other three, but what is your favorite potato chip?
I like Pringles. Pringles. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, are you a salt and vinegar person?
Um, no, I don't love salt and vinegar. I'm a basic chip with French onion dip. Hell of a good French onion dip and chips. Basic like Ruffles.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm go. Oh, well, listen, you already won my heart already. You said basketball is a sport that you're willing to watch. So listen, you are just adding on, just adding on right now. But I wanted to ask you this because this bonus question came up in my mind last year. We had a friendsgiving. Okay, where I was living in Minnesota last year. Had a friendsgiving. People, bring over things or make things or whatever. One of our friends' girlfriend brought French onion dip to a friendsgiving meal. Now, I chastised her a little bit. I was teasing a little bit. I said, "Wow, you're bringing French onion dip to Thanksgiving." Like, yeah. I was like, I don't know if anybody eats French onion dip on Thanksgiving. I'm thinking that's much more like a Memorial Day, July 4th kind of thing. Not only did she bring the French onion dip, but she didn't bring nothing to dip it with.
Oh,
Do you think that this is a dish that's worth serving at Thanksgiving?
I think it's a snack. I think if you wanted to bring a little snack like appetizers to go with the other snacks, but you got to bring something to dip it in. You got to bring the chips. I
Yeah, she brought no
no chips.
chips, no chips, just the dip, and I was just like, I was disgusted. I was like, what's going on here, man? I had to pull my man to the side. Yo, man, y'all need to go to Walmart, at the grocery store, buy some cookies, get 2 for $5, something. Y'all need to do something else, cause you can't bring nothing ain't nobody touched. Do you know, Allison? Didn't nobody touch the dip the whole damn night? Nobody touched the
Because
dip, and that's the worst thing you could do.
there was nothing to dip.
Right. That's the worst thing it could be. When you go to somebody's house and you bring a dish over and nobody
I
touches it,
know. I feel
that's a
bad.
bad
That's
feeling.
bad.
Yes. That's a little bonus thing, but you did very well on this or that. I commend you on that. You did very well. Now this next
Okay.
question is called bucket list.
Mm.
Okay. I want you to give me a top four bucket list of either I would say clients or events or stories that you would like to do in your career that you haven't done yet.
Ooh. Okay. So I would love to interview Karen Reed. Now, I don't know if you followed this trial. She's from Massachusetts. It was
Mm.
she was accused of running over her boyfriend, who was a Boston police officer. Now, everybody in
Ooh.
Massachusetts was obsessed with this case. It was on court TV a few months ago, and I had it on like every single day. I would love to interview
Mm.
her. That would be definitely my number one interview. People would probably say like the president or the pope, and I'm like, I want to interview Karen Reed from Massachusetts. So that would be my
Wow.
top thing. The other thing is, so that was to interview, and then what else? What were the other ones?
Oh no,
Oh, I
you name four. Yeah, yep, name four.
Okay, so interview Karen Reed. I'd love to be able to travel more and just document that and get paid to do that. That would be wonderful. And then I would love to scuba dive. That's on my list. Um, Even though I'm scared of fish and don't like things touching me. So it's one of those like I want to overcome my fear. And I'm trying to think what else. I don't really.
Would you ever consider doing like a red carpet event?
Ooh, that would be fun. Yes, That would be great. That would that's
I
definitely
really think.
on my bucket list. Yeah, I would love to do more things with, at celebrities, entertainers. I,
Yeah.
launching a podcast, so I would love to do that and just have really cool people on and just tell their stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of the reason why I started this is because of meeting wonderful people like yourself. But I just think that you would look stunning, no question. But I think the questions that you would have on that red carpet and the answers you would get from the different celebrities, no matter if it's like a music awards or Oscars or just a big time gala event, maybe even the Met Gala, right? Some in New York. I think that would be interesting that you can have. And some stories that you would be able to get. And obviously, I don't think anybody would not talk to you. That's for sure. On that red carpet, I think you would be able to have some great conversations. We talked about advice that you would give, but I want to know what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to.
So when I started my business, I wasn't sure how I get clients because, I'm not obviously extroverted. So I'm not somebody who's going to pick up the phone and do cold calls. And I didn't like going to the chamber events and mingling. That just wasn't me. And so my friend said, well, just start writing blogs and start doing videos, put content
Hmm.
out there. They had me follow Gary
Right.
Vee, who's the king of marketing. And he said, just do what he's doing. He's telling you, just put free advice out there. And I started doing that. I started recording these little 15-second videos in my car, posted them on LinkedIn. And I
Okay.
would say all of my clients from the start till even now I've gotten has been because they've seen me on LinkedIn or they saw some advice I gave. So that was like the best piece of
Right.
advice for I think even anybody starting a business. You don't have to do a blog, you don't have to write, but put yourself out there and wherever you're comfortable. So for me, I was comfortable in front of the camera. I'm not comfortable going out to events. So for somebody who's starting a business, if you are extroverted like you, go to events, start talking to people, and you'd be surprised by just having those conversations, the business that you can build, and the friends that you can make, and even just people that give you advice because successful people always want to give advice because they were at that
Right.
moment where they needed advice and they needed mentors. So find yourself a good mentor as well, which I did along the way in TV and in the world of marketing and PR because there always somebody there that's willing to help you and take a couple of minutes and answer your questions.
Is there a certain client or maybe a certain company that you want to represent that you're like, man, that would be a wonderful person, or a wonderful event to do within my communication production company?
That's a good one. I'm super into health and wellness and organic foods. I'm really into trying to, make us healthy again. So any product that is, about health, wellness, organic, that would be like my ideal client because I'm so passionate about it. So that would be ideal. I have so many brands that I like. So yeah, maybe if somebody's listening, they'll hire me.
I hope so. That would be
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah. No, I wanna ask you this before I get to the last question, and that is my last question is gonna be rapid fire. But I want to ask you this about a book. Are you going to be writing any more books? And if so, what will be your next book that you write?
that's funny you should ask because I just decided about 2 weeks ago when I was bringing my daughter to school that I knew I wanted to write another book because I love the writing. It's a love hate relationship. Like you love it, but then it's like, oh, then
Hmm.
you get writer's block and then you have to edit it after the editor sends it back and you have to rewrite and rewrite and that's horrible. But um, so I am in my 40s and I'm at that point where, going through perimenopause, which is not really exciting to men, but a lot of women are going through it and it's becoming a bigger movement. So I want to write a
Right.
book, kind of a tell all handbook. There's a lot of books out there written by doctors, written by exercise physiologists, but I want to have like a natural doctor in there talking about things and a regular doctor and a nutritionist and a mental health person because women go through a lot of anxiety and marriages sometimes
Hmm.
break up. So I want every expert I can find that I'll interview and put it in the book. And I want a fun, catchy title like WTF is happening to me. Like, because it's the same conversation I have with my friends. Like, what now? I woke up and I had this or that, or what's going on. So I want it to be like a fun as perimenopause can be, but just a little bit of humor and not so serious, kind of a catchy type of book. So yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah. Okay. I like that, Allison, and I might have to cop that book too. Because listen, us men, we need to understand. I don't know. We need to understand
Yeah,
y'all a little bit
oh,
better. We need to
we're
understand.
complicated. I don't know if that will ever happen. We're very, I feel bad. I really do. I feel bad for you guys because we are all over the place. I,
Well, listen, I'm determined to try to understand a woman as best as I possibly can because I know for y'all to understand us, yeah, we can be difficult too. There's no question
you're
about
a
it.
lot simpler though. You're
No.
very simple. I feel like you're very simple, which
Mhm.
is nice. We are not.
No, no, I agree with that. That's for damn sure. I definitely agree with that. I want to get into some rapid fire. And what I mean by that is the first thing that comes to your mind when I throw it at you, you just go ahead and shout it out with glee. No pun intended with the episode. First thing I'm gonna say: chicken or ribs,
Chicken,
pancakes or waffles,
waffles,
juice or soda.
soda.
Favorite Netflix TV series or TV show?
Oh, geez. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh boy. Oh, why can't I think of it? Hunting Wives. I just saw that on Netflix. I actually watched it twice. It's crazy. It's very, very
Wow.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay, I'll check that out. Favorite color?
Green,
Okay. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Cabernet.
Mm,
Wine.
okay. Okay. We gonna be good friends, girl. I like that. Cabernet, good. Um, favorite sandwich?
Ooh, roast beef.
I like that. Favorite board game?
Life.
Mm, that's a good one. Solid,
Yeah.
solid. I would say mine is Clue. Clue. I love
Good.
mystery. Favorite card game?
Uno.
I'm a beast when I hit you with that draw four, girl. I'm a beast with it. No question. Okay. If you had a choice to bring three people with you on vacation, so 3 plus 1 equaling 4, who would those three people be and where would you go? Now, before you decide, you can choose family, friends, or celebrities.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to say this just because I feel like, especially going through with my daughter going to college for a second year, I feel like life is short. So I would take my three daughters and I would take them to Hawaii because that's where they've all said they want to go. And it would be, I think, amazing experience for us. So yeah.
Have you ever
I
been?
have. Yep, I went on a work trip years ago. I was pregnant with my third daughter. So it was it was a long plane ride being pregnant, but it's beautiful. It's just a long plane ride. That's the only
Hmm.
thing. It's yeah.
Yes, it definitely is. Honolulu and Maui. I've been to those two places. I'm sure your daughters will absolutely love either one of those or any of the other spots as well. So I'm hoping that can definitely happen in the near future for you guys. Cause that'd be a great trip. It'd be awesome. If you had a choice to listen to three artists or three songs on repeat and never get tired of them, who would those three artists or three songs be?
Taylor Swift, Morgan Wallen, and
Hmm.
yeah, I like Chris Stapleton as well. So those three.
Okay, you got some good music taste. I like that. Um, if they came up to you and said, Allison, you've been a great reporter, great keynote speaker, you're a best-selling author, which you are. You're absolutely lovely, which again, you are. But you're gonna have to choose one of these, okay, to just do for the rest of your life. You can't do them all.
Mm.
Out of these things that I'm going to mention, which one would you choose? Would you choose being a writer, being an author? Would you choose being a speaker, a public speaker? Would you choose being a reporter or an anchor? Or would you choose being a owner in PR running your own company?
I would say speaker because that's
Okay.
just to be able to hopefully change somebody's lives by giving that advice or telling stories, I think would be pretty impactful.
I love that. Last of the rapid fire. I know you did news. News was your forte when you was doing television reporting and stuff like that. But if you had to choose another genre to report on, out of these three, which one would you choose? Would you choose entertainment? Would you choose travel? Or would you choose sports?
Entertainment, for sure.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. No, that's amazing. And listen, this conversation has really been amazing as well, Alison. I've really enjoyed talking to you, getting to know you as you've grown up, going to West Springfield High, graduating from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, or starting in New Hampshire, transferring there, having a great career in television, but also now doing it on your own terms, right, with your own company, an Allison PR company, but also being able to spread knowledge by media training, keynote speaking, writing books, which I can't wait for the other book to come out. 'Cause like I said, I'm gonna cop that for sure, and I'm also gonna cop the Rise and Above book. I really appreciate you allocating your time to me today. This has been an absolute treat. My final question to you is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we
I
conclude?
think you covered everything. This was great.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that you had a wonderful time. I try to make it a wonderful time for all my guests here, and very informative as well. I hope people take something away from what you said for sure. I want you to enjoy the rest of your hump day, Wednesday, and the rest of your week, and you and I will most certainly be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No problem.